Hey guys, this is Sean. I'm here at Mystic Koi, and here on a really rainy day, figured why not? Let's take a look at our air pumps. So I grabbed an air pump from the back, and here it is right here. I'm going to show you how they work and what kind of maintenance needs to be done to them. So, in fact, I even got my diaphragm kit here. Pretty cool. Inside of here is a diaphragm, of course, your valve assembly, and then in between here is this nice little bag of hardware that you may or may not need. So we're gonna go inside, and Bill's gonna take this thing apart, and I'm gonna walk you through all the steps. Let's do this thing, huh? Yeah. All right. So first thing, you can see the tools we're gonna use. A couple different screwdrivers, wrenches, pocket tool. Bill mostly uses his pocket tool for just about everything here at the shop. But first thing you want to do is remove the air filter cover, and that just pops off like so. And you'll want to clean the filter part if it's dirty. And I really like to use that lid as my hardware storage container. So all my screws and fittings, they just go in there, so I don't lose them later on. Bill's now removing the housing cover, and on this model it's 4 screws. Some other models it's 6 screws, but you want to be sure to pull all of those off. Alright, so Bill's pulling the main housing off, and inside of there you see that sort of cloth material. That's a sound dampener, so you want to just kind of pry that off there and set that to the side. Now we're going to remove the 4 screws that hold the outer valve assembly. So Bill's getting that last one off there. You want to really inspect that valve assembly. You see there's 2 rubber valves in the housing, one for the inside, one for the outside. These are the intake and exhaust valves. You want to make sure that both valves are in pretty good shape and they're nice and pliable. So that one looks good. Set it down. Now we're going to carefully remove that single nut and washer that holds the rubber diaphragm. It's in the center there, and it's actually attached to the activation arm. That nut and washer are pretty small, so be sure not to forget the washer. And you can see here we use a screwdriver to help pry off the diaphragm, because they do kind of get stuck sometimes. So now we're going to inspect the rubber diaphragm. Again, check both sides. We're looking for any tears or cracks or anything that could be resulting in a tear very soon. Alright, so now Bill's going to turn that around, and he's going to work on the other side here. While we're waiting for Bill to get that other side done, got my buddy Charlie here. He's going to break it down on the drums for us. Alright, so now you're going to want to remove that activating arm and kind of inspect it for any excessive wear. Also want to make sure the threads on each side are pretty clean and undamaged. Alright, I recommend just replacing all the parts if something's not quite right, meaning all the valve assemblies and diaphragms. And then you can just save any of the old parts that still show sign of life and use those in case there's an emergency. Alright, so now it's time to reverse the process and reassemble this thing. You want to make sure that the diaphragm is inserted into the slot on the activating arm. Use new nuts and washers that are in the kit there. But you can see how that goes on there, and Bill's hand tightening it there. So you'll notice the diaphragms will fit in the metal bracket in one direction only. Ensure that the notch of the diaphragm ring aligns with the notch in the metal bracket. Alright, he's going to slide that activating arm back into the pump. Remember, those are magnets, so it's going to kind of be sort of herky-jerky. And you'll notice that valve assembly, that obviously fits in one direction only. Just make sure the outlet port matches with the rubber air tube that you're going to attach with that little clamp. So you get those screws in there. Make sure you hand tighten those pretty firmly. Alright, so we got those on there, and you're just going to attach that rubber tube, get that clamp on there, and you're good to go. So we're going to work on the other side here. It's the exact same procedure. I'm going to put Bill in hyper speed here while he gets it done. And I'm going to tell you a joke about a pirate. Alright, so this pirate walks into a bar. But not your regular old like pirate bar. I'm talking about like a TGI Fridays, Applebee's, that kind of thing. And sits down, orders a drink. And the bartender's like, man, never had a pirate in here before. Gotta ask this guy some pirate questions. So, pirate has a couple drinks. Bartender's like, hey pirate, you mind if I ask you some questions? Pirate's like, yar! No problem, what you got for me? So bartender's like, hey, I noticed you got that peg leg. How'd you get that? Pirate says, ah! That Moby Dick son of a gun, huge whale just took it right off. And bartender's like, oh man, that's a terrible story, man. That's pretty wild. That's crazy. I noticed you got this hook for a hand. Well, what happened there? Yar, I be dueling Blackbeard, see, and he chopped my hand right off. Bartender's like, holy cow, man. You dueled Blackbeard and you chopped off your arm? Did he poke out your eye too? Because he got this eye patch. And he's like, no, see, forgot about my hook. It was like 2 weeks afterwards and I had an itchy eye and I plucked the son of a gun right out. Bartender's like, oh man, that's a rough day you had there. Sorry to hear about that. So they kind of share some stories, have a couple drinks, and bartender's like, hey, alright, one more question. You got this big ship's wheel right in front of your stomach. What's going on with that? Pirate's like, yar, it be driving me nuts. If you clean that filter pad, you want to make sure it's nice and dry before you reassemble it. And also notice the filter actually fits in one direction, so you want to line the holes there. Same thing with the lid. You'll see that sort of plastic notch in the top there. You want to plug it in to test it. Should run nice and smooth with no rattling. And it might sound actually really loud, but that's normal. It's just because there's no back pressure. Once you get it hooked onto your pond, it should be nice and quiet. But that should do it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, visit us at mystickoi.com, give us a call, or throw some comments in the YouTube section. Alright guys, have a good day.